Was Barbara's groom really the man he seemed?
And this fellow came out. The guy saluted him. The gate opened. Only in America.
They had just been ushered through the diplomatic gates.
And we went back to a very fancy hotel in San Diego.
Harvey,
we had the
come here.
suite, which was absolutely scrumptious.
Come on.
Barbara thought she had just married an admiral and was enjoying the first blush of being a bride. She didn't realize she was getting into bed with a covert operator, a dual personality. But love is blind, as District Attorney Theo Stamus would point out years later.
Harvey!
Pathetic that they had met on a blind date, because she was so blind to what was really afoot in their relationship and who John Perry was. He just wasn't any of the things, or he was maybe snippets of some of the things he played himself to be. Clearly not a successful, accomplished, wealthy, urbane, worldwide, world traveler type person.
The Admiral was skilled at deception. He fooled almost everybody. Barbara's first clue he wasn't who he seemed.
Harvey, come here.
When he borrowed her credit card.
Come on.
The credit card bill had come in, and I was looking at it, and it was like, well, wait a minute, there's more than
Harvey.
charges here. There were quite a few charges, and it upset me.
Barbara confronted the Admiral about his spending.
He got up and he started
Come here.
walking up the stairs.
Mom.
And I said, well, where are you going? He says, well, I'm going to pack my bags. I know when I'm not wanted. My inside just kind of turned. It was like, okay, you're going to leave and I'm going to be stuck with all of these bills. And I said, well, John, if there's a problem, we can talk about this and we can work it out.
They worked it out with the understanding the Admiral would eventually pay his debt. Barbara was reassured when in May of 1982, the Admiral gave her a payment.
First he handed me a $5,000 check that he said his grandmother had sent, and then he said, I sold my house to my cousin Jeff.
Although the money from the house sale to his cousin Jeff wouldn't be available until 7 years later, which seemed strange. Barbara received another bright red flag about the Admiral in the summer of 1982 when he was arrested for theft.
Harvey.
But in typical Admiral style, negotiations were made and the charges were dropped.
He could always figure out something. He was very manipulative without making the person feel like they're being manipulated.
Barbara should have been on the alert, but she chose to trust the Admiral. He was a hero, after all, held in esteem by the Navy.
When
the girls would find out later that what happened behind closed doors that fateful weekend was no ordinary marital disagreement. Very soon, Ashley and Bree would experience a deadly deja vu that would rip their lives apart.
I wasn't really home that whole weekend.
Harvey.
Arguing or whatever. The only thing I knew was that Steve
Harvey, come here.
Fighting.
Bree
Come on.
seeing little of David that
Come on.
fateful weekend.
Harvey, stop it.
Mom told her he had started drinking after their argument and was sleeping it off.
She's like, he's fine. He's breathing.